On this week's episode of Did Y'all See, we're talking about Tika Sumpter revealing too much, Solange checking white privilege, and 75% of black women getting married. Get into all this tea on Did Y'all See. Hello and welcome to another episode of Did Y'all See. Now, as you know, last week we talked to you all about bumping up our subscribers. So we're trying to get to 100,000 by the end of September. You have 2 weeks. Now we thank you all the new people who did subscribe, but we need a little bit more help. So if you feel so inspired, share the link, share the video with your friends, your family, all the people around you. First off is Brandy and Monica. Now, we know that the two had their problems back in the day when they were teenagers, and there was they had some type of altercation that eventually came to like blows at one point. But they started working together again in 2012, so we figured, okay, everything is cool, and they got it together. But maybe not, because recently when someone asked Brandy to participate in the Solange challenge that has Monica blowing up on the internet, she was like, ciao, bye. And in an interview before that, she said that she and Monica don't speak to each other anymore, they're on different paths. Meanwhile, Monica is love and light, Mother Teresa steez, like, I don't do that no more. It's about positivity, and God has brought me from a mighty long way. So what do you guys think about the whole situation, how each woman is handling it? Do you want to know what's going on? Are you over it? What's up?
I've always really loved Brandy, and I was just like, I've always written for her, but I was very disappointed in the way that she's kind of been handling this. I think we've all like been in life, you know, had to deal with people, you know, who we fell out with or whatever happened. When people ask us about them, it's kind of like, well, you know, it is what it is.
Right.
I mean, there's a way to go about handling it. Like everybody, you know, even if they pretend like, hey, look, I'm loving light, whatever she's doing. And you want to be like, girl, bye. You know, you as messy as they come, you know, whatever. But at the same time, like, you don't have to feed into every comment. And I really feel sad because I feel like celebrities on these old school celebrities on social media, I just feel like it brings out so much that you didn't know
and
about
didn't want
them.
to know.
Yeah, that you didn't want to know about them. Like I have this image of you, and I feel like on social media you act kind of neurotic.
If Monica really is messy, if you're going to be doing all this back and forth, you need to just tell the full story so we can see what's really going on. Because the PR machine is making Monica look amazing right now.
You gotta know when to catch yourself when you just having a petty moment. Cause I imagine, you know, right? I'm sure she was on whatever. They saw somebody like, you gonna do the Solange challenge? She like, child, bye. But like, you say that in your mind.
head.
Right.
You text your friend like, girl, somebody asked me, am I about to do this? But to like put it out there, to even create something for it, like that was a whole other amount of effort that just. It makes her look like she was probably the one like causing problems. So we don't even know that that's the case, you know? Because Monica's like, the woman I am today.
Girl.
Right? So,
God got me.
Okay,
so.
and I was like, yes, Monica, this is what I'm talking about. Growth, right? And then Brandy after that to still put up another image and talk about, I know the real, you know, story. Well, just share it. And that's the thing, like you got to put stuff out there one good time. You maybe get one extra petty, super hard clap back, and then you let it go.
Right.
But this back and forth for people mid-30s, children, and all that, it just.
So for this week's What Would You Do? We're talking about Solange. Now, if people saw the message that she wrote on Twitter, and then she wrote a letter for St. Heron, and she said that she went to a concert, and the concert had a predominantly white audience. It was a white band, like a craft work concert. So it was dance and electronic music. And she went with her husband, her son, and her son's friend, so kids. And as she's there, you know, she stands up, she's dancing because it's dance music. And these group of white women behind her are telling her to like sit down now, not asking, telling. And then when she didn't comply, they threw trash at her, including a lime. So, I just can't, what would you guys do in this situation? How would you handle it? Lord.
Right.
What are y'all do?
I would bug the fuck out because, you know, like I've told you guys numerous times before, I love Trader Joe's.
I knew it was coming. I knew it.
I'm still not old, because it always happens to me. So every time I'm in Trader Joe's, somebody feels
Predominantly white space. Someone
feels like they have to say something to me. Either I'm talking on the phone too loud, even though everybody's loud in Trader Joe's. One person was upset that I went to get a card and was like, "You skipped the line. I need to go to the back of the line." So when I heard that, I blacked out. So I would just, I'm getting too hot right now. So I would just have to, say something. Okay, I'm done.
I mean, yeah, I'm almost certain afterward I'd have to have a conversation with my child, like what mommy did today wasn't appropriate. Because I'd like to say I'd have the foresight to be like, hey, take JoJo over there while I lay this white woman out. But I probably, because I would have just been so enraged. Like, how dare you tell me this? And I very much agree with what, Solange wrote about. The implication is like, I belong here, but you don't. And don't do that. First of all, you don't even know who I am. Because Beyonce, my sister, I'm getting your whole life shut down. So, don't even do it. But Solange didn't even need to go there, just as another human being. In this space, you don't have a right to ever question it. On top of, they got up and danced after. So it's very much about my black body being here, and you don't like it. Somehow, like, me dancing is a personal affront. I haven't even done anything, but you get up and dance, and then you get violent with me. You throw something at me. I haven't disrespected anybody. I haven't been anything but myself and minding me and my family's business. And you're the one who's like a perpetrator of violence and hate and all that, but you're worried about me. Like, there's never any like time for self-reflection for white people because they're so fucking entitled. Everything they do, they think is okay.
It would have been a problem. It either would have been some form of a food fight, trash fight, or even if I don't put my hands on you, I'm throwing something at you. Because you physically, whatever you did physically touched me. And don't start none, won't be none. But I think it all goes back to the idea that, like the whole conversation of like black happiness and freedom. Like, you can't even feel comfortable enough to laugh, to dance, to just be free and happy. You can't just be because someone is always trying to regulate. And then they don't see that is through a form of entitlement. But everybody, I mean, if you've gone anywhere, been to a predominantly white school, anything. I mean, even try to just play volleyball in the Upper West Side and have people be like, well, you can play in a minute. Like, oh, motherfucker, I paid $15 to be here. I want to play now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, give me the ball. Nobody play. Now, nobody play volleyball. Nobody get volleyball today. Get that out of here. But it's just always something, and it just makes you so. And this is why people run. This is why enrollment at HBCUs is going up, because it just makes you want to run in the opposite direction. Exactly. And the world is not just black folks, so you just got to learn to work with it and be on Solange's level with that kind of stuff. But it's just so disappointing.
If this was you at a concert with your man and your baby, and somebody threw some trash at you, how would you handle the situation? Would you turn up? Would you take a beat? Let us know. So did y'all see, we've known that Tika Sumpter has been pregnant for a while now, but recently she appeared on the cover of Fit Pregnancy, and she said the reason that she didn't make an announcement, she just showed up, is because she didn't want people questioning her about her baby daddy. She didn't want to have to field those questions. So we had a little debate about this, about whether or not this mindset and then this ideology and then appearing on the magazine really work. So what do you guys think about her decision to keep the pregnancy private and then appear on the magazine and then not wanting to answer those type of questions?
It's funny to me because I completely get what she was saying, but when I look at my reaction, like whoever said Tika Sumpter was pregnant, I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know she was in a relationship. That's nice. And I have not thought about her since then. When I saw the cover, it just invited all these other questions that I didn't even have initially about that, because I felt like the details she gave lend credence to the concerns people typically have when you are an unwed pregnant woman in a semi-new relationship with no other level of commitment and an unplanned pregnancy. So it's like when the details came of like, oh, we've been together a year and a half, and my mom was like, are we gonna get married? And a ring doesn't define me. Like, we've heard so many people say those things, and then they really did want a ring, and they really whatever, that all of a sudden now I'm like, well, who is this man? Why isn't he around? Why is he? And I don't care enough to like, to judge her about it. It just, all of a sudden I'm thinking about it. So in my mind, it's almost like it did more harm than good to even say those things.
She has to do with Kerry Washington. Either we're going to be pregnant and we're going to talk about solely the pregnancy, and that's it. Like, oh, my cravings. Oh,
this is what I'm doing to stay fit.
Right. This is what, my doctor recommended me. This is what my nutrition said to me. Like, just keep it about the pregnancy. I think when you sometimes let those things slip. Like, it's kind of like those people who are like, oh my God, today was the worst day ever on social media. And then people are like, oh my God, well, I hope you have a great day. What happened? And then it's like, everybody trying to be in my business, but I'm going to pray for my haters. Like, you know, it just kind of.
That's literally what she said.
It spirals out of control. Like, so I think maybe next time her PR people just have to be like, hey, just keep it about the baby. That's it, you know?
I just feel kind of sorry for her because I was surprised at how like negative the reaction was to all of it. Like when she finally did the fit pregnancy thing, and when I thought about it, I was just like, it's kind of interesting because it feels like there are conditions to how we celebrate with people or how we mourn with people. It's like we can't be like. Somebody dies, we can't just be like, I'm so sorry for your loss without having to know how they died. If somebody's pregnant, we can't be like, congratulations, so happy for you, without needing to know, but who the baby daddy? When y'all getting married? Why aren't y'all married? And what are you gonna do if shit falls apart? Like, it's just kind of sad to me because it's like, you know, so I could understand why she felt like in the beginning, at least her first pregnancy, you're very happy about it. You're like, I just don't want to deal with that. Like, she knows the reality of whatever's going on. Maybe she shouldn't have said it in the interview. But I understand where she was coming from. Like, I just don't want to do it.
And I'm like, if you don't want to acknowledge it, that's fine. But I just don't understand why bring it up to not acknowledge it.
Yeah.
It's just like wanting to keep some things private, but then wanting to share something, and then being mad when people ask questions about the other thing. You know, like that to me was what was weird about it. I'm just like, you know, people are gonna have these questions. Not even on some like people who are asking like the marriage stuff. Like that's just petty. Like she obviously feels comfortable with who she is and what her decisions that she's made, and so you should be okay with it, whatever. But I do think when you talk about one thing and the other thing and not the first thing, it's people gonna be like, okay, what's up? What do you think about Tika Sumpter's situation? Did you feel like she shared too much, kept too much back? How would you have handled the situation if you were in the same predicament? Let us know what your thoughts in the comment section below. So we wanted to let you guys know that we have a new series called Debunking Black Female Myths. And on our first episode, we're talking about marriage. So Brandy, you have the facts and the tea, so go ahead and tell us a little bit about it.
So during Essence Fest this summer, we actually went around and we talked to different Black women about different myths that are out there. The first one we started with is the whole myth that Black women don't get married. So, you know, we all heard the statistic in 2010 that like 42% of Black women who were involved in this study had never been married, and like 70% were just straight up single. You know, all together, everybody started freaking out. 87,000 think pieces came, you know, blah, blah, blah. But the fact of the matter is 75% of Black women actually are married by 35. So, which is pretty good odds. You know, you talk about 3/4, right? So, you know, I personally enjoyed seeing the look of happy joy, you know, on women's faces. It was like, oh, what? I still got, you know, a chance. Right, exactly. It was like, However, some still were like, I don't believe it. Or like, where's my ring then? You know, if this is, you know, if this is what the numbers say. And then also in the comments section, people, you know, had that same reaction. So what do you think? Are you surprised by that figure? Do you think it's true?
I wasn't surprised by the statistics because I know a lot of my friends who have moved to New York or subscribing to the whole notion that, especially in New York City, you can't find a man. I think because I grew up in a cultural community, everybody and their mother is getting married. It's just normal.
And I feel like as of late, I feel like people have used this to make us crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, I didn't feel like before 2010 there were many of these conversations. I don't feel like there were many sit downs on ABC and whatever, where it was like, what's wrong with y'all that y'all not getting married? Like, and I just feel like everybody just started playing into that. I do believe culturally, you know, I know even in the Nigerian culture, it's like, if you move home, you could found somebody about 5 years ago, you know? So, you know, I think everybody has a little bit of pressure, but I feel like things have been exacerbated over the last years, and it's disappointing.
You know, I would say it was a higher number than I expected.
Oh, yes.
75% is great.
High.
I mean,
that's good.
It's good.
Listen, marriage is not everybody's ministry.
It's not. Tell us what you think. Do you believe the statistic that 75% of us will be married by 35? And also make sure you go watch the full video. And make sure you tune in every week as we debunk other myths about our money, education, and more.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Did Y'all See? As usual, if you like this video and want to see more like it, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. The button is, you know, around. Click it. YouTube.com/MadameNoire.